Part 61. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 603. 9 Heavens Thunder Tribulation World Destroying Sword Technique. This is somewhat similar to my 9 Heavens Tribulation Thunder Claws. In fact, the truth is clear, but the 9 Heavens Tribulation Thunder Claw triggers ordinary thunder, and the 9 Heavens Thunder Tribulation World Destroying Sword Technique triggers the real 9 Heavens Thunder Tribulation, causing a disaster. Of course, this is only part of it, it is the World Destroying Sword Technique that follows. Basic conditions: the focus of this battle technique is on the World Destroying Swordsmanship. Zhang Zizai could feel that the 9 Heavens Tribulation Thunder Claw was a bit like a simplification of this swordsmanship. The reason why he succeeded in an hour was because he had already mastered the 9 Heavens Tribulation Thunder Claw, so it was easy for him. Zhang Zizai didn't have the sword weapon at his disposal. He got some from the genius of Zikan realm last time, but they were not to his liking. He might as well take advantage of the Demon Eye, so he continued to use the Demon Eye, although the level of the Demon Eye was inferior. But barely able to display the lethality of this world-destroying sword technique. It seems that in order to master this world-destroying swordsmanship, you need to find a truly magical weapon, Zhang Zizai said in his heart. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. Compared with this world-destroying swordsmanship, the Wanjun world-shattering fist is more convenient. This boxing technique is the most brutal one Zhang Zizai has ever seen. It opens and closes widely, and every punch is made with the power of Wanjun. Bombarding opponents with the power and momentum of steel, even the world dares to be shattered, one can imagine its power. To Zhang Zizai's surprise, the Wanjun world-shattering fist can be used in conjunction with the Eternal Divine Fist. The Eternal Divine Fist is just a part of the stored power and does not have any real boxing skills. When he integrated the Eternal Divine Fist into when Wanjun used the world-shattering fist, he was very surprised by the lethality displayed. The mysterious skill of life obtained from the wooden star monument is quite special and very obscure. This is a special skill. Zhang Zizai plans to study and practice it by himself first, and then pass it on to others. Who is this skill? The technique that can be practiced by anyone can give people a strong ability to continue fighting. The practice of these 3 battle tactics and techniques has already consumed a lot of energy, so Zhang Zizai temporarily put aside the dry-level battle tactics Star God Sword Manual because he knew that the time required to study the Star God Sword Manual would be long. It is more than 10 times the world-destroying swordsmanship. Now that he is trapped in Tianxing Mountain, he does not have so much time. Of the 10 star monuments, he got 4, Shen Xiao got 2, Ling Xian got 1, and Ye Tiandao got 1. On the 20th day after the totem evolved, Shen Xiao successfully broke through to the 8th level of the Divine Seal realm, equaling Zhang Zizai in terms of realm. Instead of awe-inspiring onlookers, her breakthrough made them laugh. After the breakthrough, she has not yet reached the Tianyuan realm, which means that she is only below the 8th level of the Divine Seal realm. At this age and level, she can only be considered as middle to lower in the Well of God's realm. Why can she have such understanding? I don't know, but realm determines everything. When it comes to actual fighting, there are at least 100 people present who can kill her instantly. That Zhang Zizai's level is not high, and there is a woman left who is even lower. It is conceivable that if they were not in Tianxing Mountain, these 3 people would not even be qualified to let us talk. They still dare to continue practicing. Ask Qianyu and Huang Shenjiun if they have any clues. We are asking them to speed up now. Why are there no movements yet? Shen Xingyu said to his subordinates. Qianyu said she was almost there, but Huang Shenjiun didn't know much about the Earth Star Monument yet. The situation today is indeed interesting. Everyone is urging others to quickly understand the Water Star Monument and the Earth Star Monument. Qianyu and Huang Shenjiun are also among the controllers of Tianxing City. In the past, they were worried about others competing with them, but now they are urging them. Only by understanding these two star monuments can everyone defeat Zhangzai and the others who are surrounded by water. Now it's not just about the baby. During these days, they had already made Zhangzai so angry that he was half dead, and now there were at least 500 people who wanted to cut him into pieces. But now, they can only watch Zhangzai continue to practice the battle tactics he got from the star tablet. The only thing they can do is to encircle him tightly and make it difficult for him to fly. In the blink of an eye, a month passed. Because I had already comprehended it on the star tablet from the beginning, it was very easy to practice these two battle techniques and one technique. Both combat techniques have been completed, and Zhangzai can use them in actual combat, but they still need to be fully completed before they can exert their full lethality. Even so, it is much more powerful than the 5 elements demon subduing stick. The life mystic technique has also reached a small level. Now there is a kind of life mystery chi flowing in his body. The life mystery chi is a constant source. It can nourish the body wherever it flows, so that the whole body maintains strong vitality at all times. Once any part of it is damaged, as long as it is not fatal instantly, the profound energy of life can nourish and repair it, and the effect is even better than Zhangzai's immortal series of talismans. Zhangzai did not give up on his spiritual cultivation. Originally, if he was nourished by the divine energy of the evolutionary world, he would have broken through now, but now that he cannot go to the evolutionary world, he has no choice but to use spiritual stones to practice. This time it took him a full 40 days to condense the last level of the Eagle Divine Seal and enter the 9th level of the Divine Seal realm. Since then, the Divine Seal realm has been completed, and the Totem Divine Seal on the Totem Sea has been completely condensed. A lifelike divine dragon is the foundation of his power, majestic and domineering, possessing endless power. After reaching the Great Divine Seal realm, the power of his Totem Divine Seal had a huge transformation, which was a qualitative leap. Sure enough, the perfection of a realm would be much more powerful, just like when the Totem Sea was created. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Next, he will start to think about the Tianyuan realm. However, he has not yet practiced the exercises, so he is not in a hurry. The most urgent task is to find the practice method of the Yuanqi Shenglong Sutra first, which requires communicating with the totem in the natal sea. He found that after the Totem Divine Seal became a divine dragon, his power was truly perfect. Now every time he uses it, it is the power of the ninefold Divine Seal, which can often form a reincarnation. The perfect power surpasses too much before. Now he estimates that even if Tang Qingming and others are in front of him, it is estimated that it will be difficult to fight against him, and even, they can be defeated casually. Shen Xiao thought he could catch up with him, and when he was baring his teeth and claws, he was suppressed by Zhangzai again. Be honest, he glared at Shen Xiao. This guy had recently practiced the 7 flame fire spear and the fire gathering eye, and his combat power had increased dramatically. He was full of confidence and dared to challenge Zhangzai's majesty. Now that he saw his realm break through, he immediately became timid and continued to call Zai brother in a coquettish voice. In fact, Ling Xian had also made great progress. She quietly practiced from the 6th level of the Divine Seal realm to the 7th level, and also completed the dance under the moon brought by the Moon Star Monument. This is actually a very lethal combat tactic, which is very suitable for her. The 3 of them have been strengthened to varying degrees in the past 40 days. At this time, 2 pieces of news suddenly came. The first piece of news was that a person named Qianyu had comprehended the Water Star Monument. Now only the Earth Star Monument had not been comprehended, but according to their threats, it should be almost done. The second piece of news was that Zhangzai saw with his own eyes that Qing Kong and others from the Zikan realm entered Tianxing Mountain and came to Zhangzai under the guidance of the lively and sensational. They know the secret of Zhangzai's source talisman. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qingyang. Chapter 604. Near the domain gate, the remaining geniuses of their Zikan realm were also a powerful force, but they surrounded but failed to catch Zhang Zizai, and then tracked him nearby, but couldn't find Zhang Zizai anywhere. For them, Lin Feng and other geniuses almost died in vain, and if they couldn't find Zhang Zizai again, it was basically considered that the Zikan realm had failed utterly. This time they failed to catch Zhang Zizai. The well of the divine realm is so big. If Zhang Zizai doesn't want to return to the Qingyang realm from the domain gate, it is basically impossible to find him again in this life. Many people who came to the well of the divine realm were not prepared to go back. If they were over the age limit, they would be automatically taken to the second level of the well of the divine realm. Most people were unlikely to be taken into the divine realm, and the final outcome was death in this distant foreign land. That's why when they returned to Tianxing City, they heard about the traces of Zhang Zizai here, and knew that this person had caused a huge commotion in Tianxing Mountain, and they were extremely excited for a while. They couldn't find him anywhere, but found that he was making trouble in their own home. Qing Kong, Nan Fengjian, Zhang Xiao, and others were only surprised. As they came to Tianxing Mountain, they listened to their friends talking about Zhang Zizai's experience during this period. When they knew that the three of them had penetrated 7 star tablets in a row, the geniuses of Zikan realm, after saying they didn't believe it several times in a row, all showed their doubts about the world. Impossible, people from the desolate land of Qingyang realm. How could the savages of the desolate world have such comprehension ability? Qing Kong gritted his teeth. She was originally a charming woman, a peerless figure in Tianxing City, but now she was shrouded in hatred and fear, and the charm of the magic talisman attracted her a little. She had worked hard in Tianxing Mountain and knew how difficult it was. If only one of the three of them had such luck, she would still believe it, but it was said that all three of them had quickly penetrated the star tablets, which was really unbelievable. Whether you believe it or not, this is the fact. You will know when you go there, said the friend. Where is he? Near the Sun Star Monument. By the way, let me remind you that Yu Lingxin was killed by the ancient god Tianqian on the spot because she attacked them on Tianxing Mountain and envied them for understanding the Moon Star Monument. I suggest that no matter how angry you are, don't attack those who have not been comprehended in the last Earth Star Monument. Yu Lingxin also died because of them, which is really amazing. Nan Fengjian was speechless. He knew that Yu Lingxin was a figure comparable to Lin Feng. How can the three of them, weaklings, kill geniuses who are much stronger than them? This is not fair at all. Unfortunately, fairness is not said in this way. When the geniuses of Zikan realm saw with their own eyes that Zhang Zizai was ignoring everyone and practicing in a swaggering manner, they were furious for a while. Didn't he bring out a daughter? Where is she? Qing Kong asked from a distance. I don't know. Lu Rishi originally thought that he was in the meteor inn outside, but Lu Rolong didn't find him after he went back, and he didn't even find him in the entire Tianxing city. He must be there. He can't be lost. As long as we find him, we will have a way to control him. We all know, so we have closed the entire Tianxing city, and the Tianxing totem array has been opened to the maximum state. Even a fly can't fly out. Even if Zhang Zizai can leave Tianxing Mountain, he can't fly away. They just came back and saw that the Tianxing totem array has been opened to the extreme. This is built by the geniuses of the ancestors to resist the source beasts and protect Tianxing city. Zhang Zizai has just finished a period of training. The battle tactics and skills have become more proficient in his hands, and the power of the 9th level of the Divine Seal realm has basically been integrated. He glanced at the crowd and suddenly saw the people of Zikan realm. King Kong's eyes were bloodshot, and he stared at him, not giving in. What a coincidence, we met here. Zhang Zizai smiled and greeted him, just like an old friend. Qing Kong, is he your friend? Shenzhenjiao, Yetiandao, Jin Xuanhuan, Lei Yun brothers and others surrounded him, with unfriendly faces. I want to kill him more than you do, Qing Kong said coldly. Where is Lin Feng? Shenzhen Jiao asked. Qing Kong pursed his lips and said, he has something to do back to Zikan realm. Master urgently summoned him. He's going back at this time. I don't know if the things in Tianxing City are more important, Bai Xian said. Qing Kong didn't say much, Zhang Zizai naturally heard it. She didn't want to talk about the 6 great divine talismans. Obviously, they still coveted the 6 great divine talismans, because once it was leaked, Zhang Zizai would definitely be threatened more, and the end would probably be worse, but their Zikan realm would never get the 6 great divine talismans again. It seems that the elders of Zikan realm still forbid them to talk about it. This is a good thing for Zhang Zizai. He doesn't want too many people to know that he has a divine talisman, especially the source talisman, which can control a world channel. If it is really spread, it will bring more trouble to Zhang Zizai. So, the people in Zikan realm are a bit like a asterisk to Zhang Zizai. Zhang Zizai just heard that the Water Star Monument has been comprehended. Now almost everyone is surrounding them, and there are dozens of layers inside and outside, waiting for a person named Huang Shenjiun to comprehend the Earth Star Monument. Huang Shenjiun will need about half a month. Zhang Zizai, your good days are almost over. Shenzhen Jiao raised her head, raised her eyebrows, and said with her arms folded. What she meant was that they would definitely hold Zhang Zizai hostage and make him tell the battle tactics he had comprehended. If you don't agree, there are ways to make your life worse than death. Half a month. Zhang Zizai looked at Shen Xiao and Ling Xian. They had stabilized for a while and entered the 7th and 8th levels of the Divine Seal realm respectively. There are too many people watching, and the effect of cultivation is still average, Shen Xiao complained. She had advanced to a higher level, but she was still not satisfied. It seemed that she was now very self-righteous. Speaking of which, there is only such a short time left. Do you have any way to save your life? If not, the 3 of us will be little rabbits surrounded by these hungry wolves. Shen Xiao stared at Zhang Zizai and asked. Only you 2 are little rabbits, I am not. Zhang Zizai stood up. What are you going to do? Go to the Earth Star Monument. Then what? Of course I comprehend it. Half a month is too long. I will do it myself, Zhang Zizai said. Are you in a hurry to die? If you are afraid, you can act on your own, Zhang Zizai pouted. Humph. Shen Xiao still stood up and followed him. She saw that Zhang Zizai should have a way to resolve the crisis in front of him. As people watched closely, any move by Zhang Zizai could cause a strong reaction from them. Want to leave? Everyone sneered. They did not stop him, but just followed him. They never expected that Zhang Zizai was really going to comprehend the last Earth Star Monument. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 605. The current scene is like a group of hungry wolves surrounding 3 little white rabbits walking in Tianxing Mountain. They have been hungry for a long time, but they still have to wait. Shenzhen Jiao, Yetiandao, Jin Xuanhuan and others stood closest to Zhang Zizai, ready to take action at any time. They have already discussed it, and since their needs do not conflict, they decided to join forces. What is he doing? Yetiandao asked in a deep voice. He is heading in the direction of the Earth Star Monument. He wants to stop Huang Shenjiun from comprehending. Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. Then he will be killed by the ancient gods. What does he want to do? Just follow and see, there is no point in discussing, Shenzhen Jiao said coldly. Don't worry, everyone. I think this person will just struggle before dying. When Huang Shenjiun succeeds, it will only take a moment for so many of us to subdue a divine seal realm, Jin Xuanhuan said with a smile. Everyone is a little nervous, Lu Rishi said. Don't be nervous. This person is best at being mysterious. I think his move this time might be a trap for us. We must be alert to his methods. He is not capable of dealing with us, but who knows if he has any tricks to make us fight first. Xuanhuan was thoughtful. That makes sense. We must agree first that no matter what the situation, our own people cannot be used, Lu Rishi said. They were not worried that Zhang Zizai and the other two would have any resistance. The only thing they were worried about was this person's conspiracy. They agreed in advance so that Zhang Zizai would not succeed. In their eyes, Zhang Zizai was now in vain. Following Zhang Zizai, they arrived at the Earth Star Monument. A man named Xuanhuan was comprehending the Earth Star Monument with a group of people from their world. After Zhang Zizai arrived here, he joined the comprehending team without saying a word. For a moment, people exclaimed. What does he mean by this? Does he think the time is too long and want to commit suicide? The more active he was, the more people frowned, and they had to think about whether Zhang Zizai had any conspiracy to escape. But no matter what, they couldn't stop Zhang Zizai from comprehending the Earth Star Monument. Shenzhenjiao and Yetiandao looked at each other. What do you think? Shenzhenjiao asked. There's no point in guessing. Maybe he's confident that he can escape. Then we have to set it up as soon as possible, and go directly to the net of heaven and earth, Yetiandao said. Begin. Everyone also felt that with Zhang Zizai's speed, the Earth Star Monument might be comprehended soon, and it must be set up quickly, and everyone should stand in position. Listen, we must not let these three people leave. They are only in the God Seal realm. We have so many heavenly source realm. If we let them slip away, it will be our great shame. The people of the entire Tianxing city have only comprehended 2 star tablets. They can't let a God Seal realm take so many treasures and leave. If it gets out, they will all be a big joke. All alert. Shenzhenjiao, Yetiandao, the Liun brothers, Xiao Chen and others stood directly about 10 feet away from Zhang Zizai. There were several of them in the 4th level of the heavenly source realm, and they stood in a dead position. Zhang Zizai, you came to comprehend the Earth Star Tablet, and you are quite self-aware. To be honest, if you hand over all your battle tactics and evolution sources, I can propose to let you live, Shenzhenjiao said with a smile. This is the only explanation. Zhang Zizai was scared, surrendered, and was ready to please everyone. For a while, bursts of laughter were heard around. He was so arrogant before, but now he is a coward. I knew that this person was here to make a fool of himself, so funny. After Shenzhenjiao said this, everyone finally understood and laughed at once. But what was unexpected was that Zhang Zizai ignored Shenzhenjiao. He seemed to be really devoted to studying the Earth Star Monument, not begging for mercy or flattery. It was really embarrassing that no one responded to Shenzhenjiao's long speech. You have a rich imagination? You are neither male nor female. Shen Xiao stood by and looked back at Shenzhenjiao with contempt. What did you say? Shenzhenjiao exploded immediately. Everyone present knew that this was her taboo. Haha, Shen Xiao laughed twice. Women are women. These 2 laughs were full of contempt and ridicule, which made Shenzhenjiao angry. Bitch, you're dead anyway. I have many ways to make you live a life worse than death. The men in my meteor realm will not despise your body, Shen Xinghua said coldly. Come on, you're all softies. Shen Xiao rolled his eyes. The fire in this conversation can be said to be very hot. It's almost time. Shen Xinghua was not so anxious that she lost her mind. She said this sentence as a warning to Shen Xiao. Maybe everyone will only focus on Zhang Zizai at that time, but she probably will focus on Shen Xiao. The time is almost time. The geniuses of the major totem worlds present can't wait. Some people saw Zhang Zizai's situation and thought of the time when he comprehended the Star Monument before, and even took out their weapons. Sure enough, the Earth Star Monument was comprehended. Huang Shenjiun felt the anger and frustration of others. He was the first genius in the entire Totem world. He spent all his energy here, but others got what he wanted day and night just after 1 hour. It was really unbearable. It seemed like he was a waste. This person of the same age in the Divine Seal realm seemed to be the real genius. In the sight of everyone, a yellow sphere merged into his body, and then a vortex appeared above Zhang Zizai's head, and the last evolution source descended and fell into his hands. That is the evolution source Tian Shen Mountain. Huang Shenjiun recognized it at once, which made him very jealous. According to the agreement, after Zhang Zizai was subdued, the evolution source belonged to him. The Earth Star Monument had been extinguished at this time, which meant that the star monuments of the entire Tianxing Mountain had been comprehended. At this time, everyone looked up and saw that the shield that appeared on Tianxing Mountain before had disappeared, which meant that they could come in without the Tianxing order. Shen Xinjiao and the others looked at each other and finally waited for the time to act. At this time, Zhang Zizai, who had just obtained the evolution source, finally set his sights on the people around him. He smiled and said calmly, "Sorry to have kept you waiting for so long." Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 606. Of course he was in a good mood, because he finally got another battle tactic, and it was not an offensive one. He now had too many offensive battle tactic. The world-destroying sword technique and the 10,000 June-shattering world fist were enough, and there was also the Star God sword manual, and if there were more, it would be too much. The battle tactic he got from the Earth Star Monument was just a body technique, which did not conflict with the previous ones. It was just that the name was a bit strange, called the Earth Escape Divine Technique. As the name suggests, this is a body technique that can use the land to run quickly. Of course, this body technique is not able to drill into the ground. The ground is so thick that drilling in will only make it difficult to move forward. The subtlety of this earth escape magic technique is that people are actually moving forward on the ground, but the body technique is disordered and psychedelic, covered with mud, and dust is flying when it is performed, which easily makes people feel like they are walking underground and suddenly appearing. This body technique is much more advanced than the 8-step soul chasing lightning. After all, it is the supreme body technique among the Kun level. However, it will take a long time to master it, and it will definitely be useless now. Now, he is surrounded by people. Everyone is looking at him with fiery eyes. What tricks do you have? Do you want to kneel down and beg for mercy, or sit and wait for death? Yetiandeo said in a deep voice. They are all waiting for Zhang Zizai's answer. But in fact, many people can't help it anymore. They gradually approach Zhang Zizai, murderous. Neither, now I will only make you dumbfounded and angry. Zhang Zizai laughed out loud. The harvest this time is really too big. Then wait and see. Shen Xinjiao couldn't help it either. She and Yetiandeo were the first to take action, and others also rushed to take action at lightning speed, worried that they would be too late and couldn't get a share. Don't kill people. Someone couldn't help but remind. They let Zhang Zizai whet his appetite, and finally when it came to the outbreak, some people really couldn't control themselves, especially Yetiandeo. Zhang Zizai found that Shen Xiao was more hated than himself. Whether it was Shen Xinjiao or Yetiandeo's first target, it turned out to be her. She also believed in herself enough to dare to provoke Shen Xinjiao at this time. Don't tell me you can't solve it. Seeing that he was about to be killed, Shen Xiao glared. Don't worry, I will never let others touch my woman. Zhang Zizai was serious, and in the flash of lightning, he took out another talisman. Shenshan Soul Calming Talisman. He had prepared it long ago. The original plan was to use the Shenshan Soul Calming Talisman after the Tianxing Mountain Star Monument was penetrated. Of course, the premise was that he reached the 9th level of the Divine Seal realm, and when he assisted this dry-level talisman to escape, he would have a better grasp. He reached the 9th level of the Divine Seal realm earlier than expected, so he took the Earth Star Monument with him. Anyway, he didn't want to waste it. Now when thousands of geniuses from more than a dozen totem worlds pounced on them like a group of hungry wolves, when their positions were very crowded, and when Shen Xinjiao and others came to their side, Zhang Zizai did not say a word and directly killed them with the Shenshan soul-suppressing talisman. For a moment, a huge soul mountain appeared above the heads of thousands of people. It was a virtual mountain, suppressing them with a bang. For a moment, almost everyone covered their heads and fell to the ground in pain. The Shenshan soul-suppressing talisman was an indiscriminate suppression. Only 3 people could escape, and that was Zhang Zizai and the 3 of them. In front of this dry-level talisman, basically the totem warriors of the Divine Seal realm fell to the ground one by one. If there were souls above the Void Spirit realm in the Tianyuan realm, they could still hold on. The closer they were to Zhang Zizai, the greater the suppression of the Shenshan soul-suppressing talisman was. For example, Shen Xinjiao, Yetiandao and others could be said to be hit hard. Together with them, they all fell to the ground for a while, and could only frown and move forward with difficulty, not to mention others. What kind of talisman is this? He can actually use a dry-level talisman. For a moment, there was widespread grief. What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and leave, Zhang Zizai offered the talisman and left in a hurry. The Shenshan soul calming talisman can suppress for a short time because its effect is dispersed. Now every breath of time is precious. The moment he released the talisman, he left directly. Shen Xiao and Ling Xian were both stunned. The next moment, Zhang Zizai's big hand directly embraced their waists. It really fulfilled Bai Shenjin's words. He held a princess in each hand and turned into a black thunderbolt and shot out. At the moment when the Shenshan soul calming talisman was effective, he rushed out of the encirclement of thousands of people and disappeared in front of people in an instant. Bang! Because of the huge consumption, the Shenshan soul calming talisman, which could have lasted for half a quarter of an hour, was directly shattered in about 15 breaths, and people were freed from the soul suppression. Shen Xinggui and others were ashen-faced. Where's the person? They were all suppressed and fell down. He ran over there, chase him, someone screamed. Now there was no one in that direction, but they were still angry and chased him quickly. I didn't expect he had a trump card. This damn dog, Shen Xinjiao almost spit fire. Seal the whole city directly. The Tianxing totem formation has been opened to the maximum state, right? From today on, no one can leave Tianxing city or come in unless Zhang Zizai is found, Yetiandao shouted loudly. I agree, Shen Xinjiao said. He must not escape. Don't worry, this guy can't escape. I don't believe he can have so many dry-level talismans. We were careless this time. Jin Zhonghuan's face was blue and purple. He just fell flat on his face. Although Tianxing city has been closed, Zhang Zizai still can't escape, but this time he was played like this. The anger in the hearts of thousands of people was enough to burn the entire Tianxing city. Yetiandao, Shen Xinjiao, Qingkong and others chased while panting, and their fingernails had pierced deeply into the flesh of their palms. They asked themselves, have you ever been so angry in your life? This person got everything from Tianxing Mountain. If we let him open Tianxing city smoothly, we will be useless all our lives and we will never be able to raise our heads. We must not let them go. The Shenshan soul calming talisman did not hurt them, but the mental torture and the humiliation of their proud self-esteem made them tremble all over when they thought about it. Compared to their anger, the atmosphere on Zhang Zizai's side was much more erotic. You stinky hooligan, how long are you going to take advantage of me? You've used both hands. Don't you think you're a little greedy? While running, Shen Xiao felt his strong arms and the feeling of leaning on him. It was indeed easy to soften people, but when she saw that his other hand was still around Lingxuan's waist, she couldn't be happy. The fastest update, please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qing Yang. Chapter 607. Stop talking nonsense. This is a moment of life and death. I am fast and I am saving your lives, Zhang Zizai said seriously, with an upright air. While speaking, he pinched their waists. It was really nothing. Fat. She is indeed a girl. There is no extraneous part in the whole body. Do you still want to be embarrassed? Shen Xiao couldn't laugh or cry. She glanced at Ling Xian. This girl was still not used to touching her, let alone holding her like this, so by this time, her expression was already a little uncomfortable. When Shen Xiao was about to remind Zhang Zizai quickly turned into a deep corner of a street in Tianxing City. He quickly put the two of them down, struggled to swing his arms, and said, "You think I am willing? Shenchan, the soul-suppressing talisman can't last long, and you're wasting a lot of my time by being in a daze. If it weren't for escaping, I wouldn't betray my appearance and let you take advantage of me." Ling Xian was still a little uncomfortable at first, but when he said this shamelessly, she actually laughed and blushed a little. Sure enough, facing a girl like her, you still have to be a little shameless. To be honest, I had a narrow escape just now. Fortunately, the old talisman master gave me these two dry-level talismans, otherwise I would not have been able to escape with so many people tracking me this time. You actually still have that kind of talisman. How many do you still have now? Is it enough to insist that we leave Tianxing City? Shen Xiao saw the chaos outside, and it was obvious that the entire Tianxing City was still tracking them, so he asked quickly. No more. Zhang Zizai cupped his hands, he was telling the truth. I'm not kidding you. It's really gone, Zhang Zizai said innocently. How are you going to leave Tianxing City next? She was a little troubled. She was leaving Tianxing Mountain now and was not surrounded by others, but this did not mean that she could leave Tianxing City. Let's go to the city gate first. Don't worry. If it doesn't work, let's go back to the evolutionary world to practice. Can we wait until one day to crush them and then come out? He said confidently. You can make progress, but they can't? They are all in the Tianyuan realm. They are about the same age as us, but their realm is much higher, Shen Xiao said. Most of the time, Ling Xian just looked at them and talked. Then let's wait and see. Zhang Zizai didn't bother to argue with her. He walked directly out, walking through the streets and alleys, hiding his figure, and headed towards the city gate. To be honest, there were too many streets here, so it was more complicated than before. There are many places to hide on Tianxing Mountain. The city gate has been closed, and the totem array in Star City is also completely closed today. Soon they will gather at the city gate and wait for us. They will not be able to get out for the time being. Zhang Zizai left them in a corner and went out to investigate. After a while, I came to this conclusion. Can we only go to the evolutionary world? It's okay. I have gained a lot this time. I can digest it in the evolutionary world. I will come out a few more times to check the situation, Zhang Zizai said. The sisters nodded. Anyway, after having Zhang Zizai, they could just follow his instructions and leave. Facts have proved that he does have a way to get everyone to leave Tianxing Mountain together. Find a suitable place to open the door to evolution, so as not to embarrass a bunch of people next to you when you come out next time, Zhang Zizai said. The place where the door of evolution is opened will definitely not be casual. After all, the door of evolution still has some abnormalities. The relatively exposed places can easily attract attention. If it is surrounded again, it will probably be dead. The entire Tianxing City is in chaos now, with people searching for them everywhere, so they still need to pay attention. I wandered around and couldn't find a suitable place, but I was very unlucky and met someone. When he turned the corner and entered an uninhabited street, Qing Kong, who happened to meet Zikanja, also entered the street from the other side. Zhang Zizai turned around and left, because the other party would soon call countless people. But unexpectedly, Qing Kong didn't yell, but directly came to kill him. He actually wanted to leave Zhang Zizai and the three of them alone. Zhang Zizai instantly understood that she would never scream because she wanted to monopolize the 6 magic talismans. She would be at a disadvantage if she called someone else. After all, not many people know about the 6 magic talismans now. I spared your life last time, have you forgotten your fear? Since she didn't call anyone, there was no need for Zhang Zizai to run away. The inanimate talisman cannot be used this time. It's a pity that I won't spare your life. Gathering the 6 magic talismans and changing your destiny, shouldn't you go crazy once? Qing Kong said indifferently. Oh. Zhang Zizai asked Shen Xiao and the others to wait for him for a while. The moment Qing Kong came up, he turned back and collided with him in an instant. Wanjun World-Shattering Fist. Use the battle tactics you just obtained directly, and the power of the Eternal Divine Fist is completely instilled in it. It is equivalent to the combined strength of the Wanjun World-Shattering Fist and the Eternal Divine Fist. When this punch was punched, Zhang Zizai's entire body turned into steel. When he punched out, the space turned black. The countless metallic energy was extremely heavy. The so-called Wanjun has a power of tens of millions of tons, plus the power of eternity. The explosion of the Divine Fist hit Qing Kong directly in the face. When they met for the first time, Zhang Zizai was no match for the second level of Tianyuan realm. When they met for the second time, Zhang Zizai had just arrived at the Well of God's domain and could only take the opportunity to force her back. When they met for the third time, Zhang Zizai fired out the 10,000 June boundary-breaking fist. The extremely domineering punch made Qing Kong unable to parry. All her means were directly destroyed by Zhang Zizai. She flew out and sprayed several buildings were knocked away in the blood. She was defeated by Zhang Zizai with one move. At that moment, it was swallowed by blood. Qing Kong was once again in fear, just like when she was dominated by the Wushan Fu. She trembled and climbed up, kneeling on the ground and crying, "Forgive me, I lost, I'm scared, I won't dare to do it again." Then she kowtowed, tore off her clothes, showed her perfect body in front of Zhang Zizai, and handed it to her, trembling, "I won't dare to do it anymore, I'm willing to be your slave, you can torture me in any way you want, please don't kill me, I'm really scared of you." She was very smart, she knew that Zhang Zizai was impatient and wanted to completely solve her trouble. So, she was willing to be a slave to survive. It's a pity that what she got in return was Zhang Zizai's cold eyes. However, Zhang Zizai didn't kill her. There was no need to kill the defeated general. If it wasn't necessary, Zhang Zizai didn't want to take other people's lives. Many people knew that he had the source talisman, and the whole Zikan realm knew it, and she didn't need one more. How pathetic would it be for someone to take off his clothes and beg for mercy at the last moment? The indifference in his eyes shows that Zhang Zizai has left this opponent behind forever. His next goal is to surpass more super geniuses in the Well of God's domain. Until he has the qualifications to enter the God's domain. For the fastest update, please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 608. Evolution Realm. Here on the deserted island, it was still peaceful. This time, the time away was not too long. Except for Zhang Yuning, who took care of Lingling and played with her every day, the rest of the people were basically in seclusion. Zhang Zizai left the box of life and death island here so that they could practice with the help of the divine spirit. When they came back, they found that the effect was indeed very good. Lu Dingxing had practiced the Taisha Chaos Demon God Sutra and had entered the Divine Seal realm. At his age, he was considered a top genius in the origin continent to reach the Divine Seal realm, but in this well of the Divine Domain, it was really nothing. So he did not plan to venture out with Zhang Zizai, but continued to sprint in seclusion. This time, Shen Xiao and Ling Xian used the divine spirit to retreat directly. Anyway, they could not leave Tianxing City recently. They all had huge gains, so they might as well strengthen themselves and integrate them. This was the only way to leave Tianxing City. They must leave Tianxing City because the ancient demon tomb was calling Zhang Zizai. The map of the Starry Sky Monument kept reappearing in his mind. Maybe there was something in the ancient demon tomb that belonged to him and was calling him. When he closed his eyes now, Zhang Zizai could see the place full of tombstones, which looked like a hell. Let's get out of the crisis of Tianxing City first. The Tianxing Totem formation has been closed, and it seems that it will take some time here. Zhang Zizai counted the 8-level evolution sources he had obtained. Among them, the immortal electric demon was prepared to be left to Zhang Junjian. The life spirit obtained from the Wood Star Monument is a suitable evolution source for Ruo Xiaoyu. The Wanjun Gold Mountain obtained from the Gold Star Monument is a symbol of power, which can be connected with Lu Dingxing. There are also the Heavenly God Mountain of the Earth Star Monument, the Starry Sky of the Starry Sky Monument, and the God Moon of the Moon Star Monument, which have no owners for the time being. Zhang Yuning, Wang Qian, and Bai Shenjin are not suitable for these evolution sources. Even if they are forced to evolve, 99% of them will fail. So Zhang Zizai temporarily kept these 3 evolution sources. I don't know if these 3 evolution sources can allow me to have a god-level totem. Integrating the source symbol is not a waste, and Zhang Zizai does not feel bad. Starry Sky and God Moon are both the peak of the 8th level evolution source. The first thing to do after returning is to let Lu Dingxing and Ruo Xiaoyu try to evolve the totem. They are currently all Hong level totems. If they succeed, they may directly cross to the U level totem. This is Zhang Zizai's ability to create geniuses. Good things that you can't use yourself should naturally be given to brothers and sisters. Don't worry, you two, I will keep an eye out for you if there are suitable ones in the future, Zhang Zizai said to Wang Qian and Bai Shenjin. Boss, you are being polite. We are really not in a hurry at all, because we know that you are so good to us, and it is only a matter of time before you favor us, Bai Shenjin laughed. To have such training conditions is something I dare not even dream of. Wang Qian is a very contented person. To be honest, he is a person who can work hard for Zhang Zizai. Now, they are both in the improvement stage. Try it, don't worry about wasting it. Zhang Zizai gave the Wanjun Jinshan to Lu Dingxing and the Spirit of Life to Ruo Xiaoyu. As her own brother, Ruo Xiaoyu would not be polite and went there happily. I can handle it. Lu Dingxing's speech problem has not recovered yet, and the whole person looks very cold. They both went to try to evolve the totem, while Zhang Zizai waited outside and played with Lingling for a while. Sister, I will give you a suitable one when there is one, he said to Zhang Yuning. You know me well, I have Lingling, it's enough for me, Zhang Yuning said. Aunt is the most beautiful, and Dad is the ugliest. Lingling stuck out her tongue at Zhang Zizai in her arms. Zhang Zizai had a headache. If Zhang Yuning continued to be spoiled, this girl would go to heaven. We must find an opportunity to establish a correct aesthetic view for her. He waited for the evolution result with peace of mind. Zhener is probably studying the 7 flame fire spear and the fire gathering eye, Yanner is studying the moon dance, and they are all improving their realms. When the results of their evolution come out, Zhang Zizai will also go into seclusion. He got more luck this time. One day passed. Zhang Ziban thought that Ruo Xiaoyu should be smoother, but he didn't expect that Lu Dingxing would come out first. When I first saw him, I thought he had failed to evolve. After all, Wanjun Jinshan was not very suitable for him, such as the evolution source that Zhang Zizai gave him before, but a closer look showed that his totem had evolved successfully again. It may have something to do with his left eye. This time, the 8th level evolution source directly allowed his Hong level totem to continuously upgrade 2 levels, reaching the U level totem and becoming the Wanjun Jinshan Panda totem. This evolution source brought him huge benefits. First, the flesh can directly transform into a Wanjunjinshan, which is a golden body, and even Kun-level magic weapons may not be able to cut it. He is definitely the top meat shield. Second, his body was extremely heavy, and his strength was terrifying. Although his speed was not fast, it was definitely not slow. It could be said that Lu Dingxing was like a moving mountain at this time. Although he had just reached the Divine Seal realm, many people might not be able to defeat him due to the advantage of his totem. After the totem evolved successfully, he went straight to practice. With the Taisha Chaos Demon God Sutra, he did not have to worry about practicing at all. This time, the totem jumped 2 levels in a row, which would definitely allow him to break through 2 more levels in a short period of time. Ruo Xiaoyu had a much harder time, but she did not disappoint Zhang Zizai. 5 days later, her totem evolved directly into the Spirit of Life Rose totem. The pink rose had changed a lot. Ruo Xiaoyu, who was already 15 years old, was completely a girl. The new totem made her more lively and agile, and she was also a rare beauty. After having the Spirit of Life, she was almost the same as Zhang Zizai, and she was endless and difficult to kill. The possible source of this evolution was that as long as she was near her, she could be nourished by her Spirit of Life Qi, which not only could resist many effects, but also speed up recovery even if she was injured. What is the effect of the universe level totem plus the divine spirit? To be honest, the cultivation speed of the two of them was almost the same as Zhang Zizai. After all, Zhang Zizai had been fighting outside, and he was not under the nourishment of the divine spirit all the time. With the divine spirit, at least below the divine seal realm, the young people of the entire deserted island could maintain a very efficient growth rate, which almost surpassed many top geniuses in the totem world. They will quickly approach Zhang Zizai's realm, but these are all created by Zhang Zizai. Of course, if Zhang Zizai enters the Tianyuan realm, it will be different, because the cultivation of the Tianyuan realm requires more conditions besides talent, skills, and spiritual energy, such as thinking and perception. For any totem warrior, the Tianyuan realm is a mysterious and profound realm. There is an essential difference between the Tianyuan realm and the Shinayan realm, because the totem warrior has transferred from the physical cultivation to the communication with the heaven and earth for the first time. The fastest update reading, please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 609. The World of Martial Arts, the Shattered Divine Seal, and the Source of Heaven. In fact, every great realm is a process of forming to perfection, then finally being destroyed, and then being reborn again and reaching a higher level. This is the case from the mysterious vein realm to the holy body realm. The same goes for going from the divine seal realm to the Tianyuan realm. After reaching the perfection of the divine seal realm and possessing the 9-level divine seal, the power of the divine seal has reached its peak. If you want to break through again, you must crush the hard-earned divine seal. That's because after it is shattered, you can understand the source of heaven, reach a deeper realm, and gradually get closer to the true power of God. Ancient gods, why are they so powerful? Why are they eternal? That's because they use the power of heaven, earth, and the world. The world is the source that nourishes totem warriors and gods. Practicing with the spiritual energy of heaven and earth is itself a way to use the power of heaven and earth. However, this is just the most common way. A more advanced way is through perception, understanding, better communication with heaven and earth, and better use of the power of heaven and earth for one's own use. Only then can the power be endless. There are rules and laws for all things in heaven and earth. The rising and setting of the sun are the manifestation of rules. The vicissitudes of the sea are also the manifestation of the rules of heaven and earth. The rules of heaven and earth, also called the root power of heaven and earth, are what drive the world to rotate and all things to come and go. Strength. The growth of all things, The limit of human lifespan, birth, old age, illness, and death are all the rules of heaven and earth. They are also the power of the root of heaven and earth, and the power of the root of heaven and earth is the source of heaven. The source of heaven is everywhere, driving the world to move, time to flow, and invisibly dominating everything in the world. According to legend, if a mortal truly masters the Tianyuan and cultivates it to great perfection and completely controls it, he or she will have the opportunity to become an ancient god. The Tianyuan realm is the beginning of mastering the Tianyuan. The first 4 realms of mortals can be classified into one big realm. They mainly involve one's own transformation and crude use of the power of heaven and earth to strengthen oneself so that one can have the foundation to begin to master the source of heaven. The next 2 realms, Tianyuan realm and First God realm, are preparations for becoming a god. Among them, Tianyuan realm is the foundation. So, where is Tianyuan? Zhang Zizai had already thoroughly studied Tianyuan realm. It is said that there is a special place in this endless world. The real world does not exist in that place. Only consciousness can reach it, just like the natal sea. This place is called the source of heaven. All sources of heaven exist in the source of heaven. The totem martial artist who has perfected the divine seal realm begins to practice the method of heaven's source, breaking the divine seal, and connecting to the heaven's source. The so-called connecting the heaven's source means that one's consciousness can reach the source of heaven. Only in the source of heaven can one find one's own. Only when the divine seal is shattered can one's own heaven source be formed. Everyone's heaven source may be different. Only when the heaven source is formed can one begin to practice in the heaven source realm. At this time, you still need to pass the first level of Tianyuan realm. If you fail, all your previous efforts will be wasted. Only by success can you truly achieve the first level of Tianyuan realm. From then on, you can deepen your connection with heaven and earth, use Tianyuan to communicate with heaven and earth, and understand Tianyuan to use the power of heaven and earth. The entire heavenly source realm is equivalent to the small completion of a heavenly source, while the first god realm is the demigod realm. Only by fully completing a heavenly source can one become an ancient god. For example, Sun God, Holy Dragon Emperor and others are equivalent to Tianyuan Xiaochang, but they are not considered Dacheng. All the above is Zhang Zizai's understanding of Tianyuan realm. Tianyuan is divided into levels. It is said that there are 9 levels of Tianyuan in total. The first level of Tianyuan is the most common. The Tianyuan obtained from deeper places has the highest level. The higher the level of Tianyuan, the more lethal it is. The higher your future achievements will be, the more difficult it will be to become a god. Therefore, sometimes the simplest source of heaven is the easiest to have the chance of becoming a god. Therefore, no one recommends going to the depths of the source of heaven. Of course, if you want to go deep, your consciousness must be strong enough, otherwise you may be drowned in the source of the sky. Losing consciousness is almost equal to disappointment, so the moment when the broken divine seal reaches the source of the sky, it is still there is a death crisis. He is also curious now, what kind of Tianyuan will he get? He has learned about Feng Xiaoao's Tianyuan, which is called Yufeng Tianyuan. The so-called Yufeng is a kind of wind that is wandering and unpredictable. After all, he is studying this Tianyuan, so he has extraordinary skills in body skills. Achievements. Of course, if you want to enter the Tianyuan realm, the cultivation techniques of Tianyuan realm are the top priority. Some top-level techniques can also allow people's consciousness to enter the depths of the source of heaven and obtain higher-grade Tianyuan. Even in the first level of the source of heaven, in fact, different techniques can allow people to distinguish better sources of heaven. He practiced the original Holy Dragon scripture, and there was currently no method to reach the source of the sky, so as before, he found a quiet place and began to communicate with the Black Dragon Totem. After sitting down, he and the demonic Black Dragon Totem stared at each other. He thought it might take 10 days and a half, but he didn't expect this time to be extremely smooth. As soon as he entered, hundreds of black shadows behind the black dragon totem changed in front of his eyes, and finally formed black ones. Text. Eternal Dragon Concept. This is the technique behind the secret technique of the 9-heaven divine beast candle dragon. I also don't know what level it is, but I only need to look at it a few times to understand its mystery. This contains the method of breaking the divine seal and the method of the source of heaven. Of course, the most important thing is the method of communicating with heaven and earth and comprehending the method of source of heaven through visualization. If the method is good, the practice will be faster. This chapter is not over yet, please click the next page to continue reading. He realized that a good Tongtianyuan method could help him widen the gap with other geniuses in the totem world and make him a genius in this well of the divine domain. After he got the Eternal Dragon visualization method, he was about to exit the Sea of Destiny. At this moment, something unexpected happened to him. The black words suddenly gathered together and condensed into the appearance of a middle-aged man. The middle-aged man was just a ball of black mist, and his appearance could not be seen clearly, but judging from his body shape, Zhang Zizai was very familiar with him. At that moment, his heart was trembling. Why did he see him in the Sea of Destiny? Zizai, the figure shouted, and it was indeed his voice, his father Zhang Yunting. Dad Zhang Zizai was at a loss. He thought he was dreaming. They left in the strangest way at the beginning, and there was no trace until now. Why did they appear in this way? Child, I'm dead. He didn't expect that the first sentence he said was actually such a word. Zhang Zizai's face was pale, he was dead. What does this mean? His shadow seemed to have a pair of deep eyes, staring at Zhang Zizai. He spoke word by word, very heavily. Now my clan is on the verge of life and death, the fate of the world is determined, the catastrophe is on you, you need to spend your whole life to find a way to survive. Zhang Zizai was confused by the sentence. But he didn't have a chance to ask, because he disappeared as soon as he finished speaking. The fastest update reading, please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 610. When Zhang Zizi withdrew from his natal sea, he still couldn't calm down for a long time. Now that our clan's life and death are on the line, the fate of the world has been decided, and a catastrophe is upon you. Do you have to spend your life to find a way to survive? He kept thinking about this sentence and wondering what it all meant. My father, who is he? Isn't he an ordinary Zilan king from the Yanlong dynasty? Could it be related to the god box? Zhang Zizai thought of his black dragon totem. He said that the disaster was on him. Is this black dragon totem a catastrophe? This is just a totem, and it is very ordinary when it first awakens. Brother, do you know who Dad is? Why don't my brothers and sisters know all this? Zhang Zizi was in a confused mood. He found Zhang Yanning and told her what happened. Is Daddy really dead? Zhang Yanning burst into tears. The question is, when did he die? Was it after he left us, or was he already dead? They died a long time ago. Who gave birth to us? Zhang Yanning asked. I am puzzled. Could it be that Dad is joking with you? Is he really the ancient god? You look like the son of the ancient god, yes, but I am a loser? Why are they born to the same father and mother? I don't seem to be useful at all. No, Zhang Yanning asked puzzledly. That's because you spend your energy on dressing up, Zhang Zizai complained. They couldn't figure out why. Forget it, you should go back and discuss it with me. I can't figure anything out, Zhang Yanning said with a headache. But I miss them a little bit, she added, tears streaming down her face again. Zhang Zizai stood up, no matter what, let's practice. One day time will give the answer. Xiaobao, Zhang Yanning called to him. How? Anyway, you must live. I know, it's long-winded. Zhang Zizai shook his head and smiled. He was about to start breaking the divine seal and reach the source of heaven. He has already studied the concept of eternal Tianlong. Now he found a quiet place on the desert island and really started to sprint towards Tianyuan realm. He took a look and found that this girl Shenxiao had really endured hardships in her cultivation. She had not been out of the house for so many days in the evolutionary world. It seemed that she had been injected with chicken blood to compare with Zhang Zizai. Woman, haha, I make you despair. Shen Xiao is still sprinting to the 9th level of the Divine Seal realm, and he has begun to sprint to the Tianyuan realm. First, the Broken God Seal. Seeing that the Totem Seal that had just been perfected after a lot of hard work was about to be shattered with power, Zhang Zizai was still a little reluctant to let go in the whirlpool of reverse chaos using the method of reaching the source of heaven. But there is a saying in cultivation, which is that nothing can be broken and nothing can be established. If the mysterious vein realm is not broken, the holy body cannot be achieved. If the totem divine seal is not broken, it cannot become the source of heaven. Only by giving up can you gain. Heaven and earth, all things, world, rules. These are so profound that at a glance they are of a higher level. The source of heaven, the origin of heaven and earth, the principle of all things, the law of the world's operation, the source of power that drives everything. Even the ancient gods are controlling Tianyuan. Zhang Zizai deeply understood the power of Tianyuan realm. From then on, the divine seal was shattered. Today's divine seal is called the Nine Heavens Divine Beast Candle Dragon. This formed divine dragon is completely different from other people's 9 divine seals. This is like a real dragon. It is composed of 9 heavenly beasts and has 9 kinds of power. Broken. The fragmentation of the totem divine seal, in the view of the eternal heavenly dragon, starts from the inside of the totem divine seal and disintegrates instantly. At that moment, Zhang Zizai felt terrible chaos and pain. When the totem seal shattered and all the power of the totem seal began to reverse chaos, his whole body felt like he was in a storm. Boom! At that moment, his whole body felt like it was exploding, and the power of the totem divine seal instantly swept through his body. Uncontrollable force almost tears people apart. This is the ultimate pain. The most extreme pain can cause consciousness to transcend the body. When the entire body is in a vortex of raging power, when the power of the totem seal is at its most chaotic, it is the time to reach the source of heaven. Where is the source of heaven? Zhang Zizai didn't know, but after the totem seal shattered, he endured the severe pain and used the method of Tongtianyuan. At this moment, there was a huge roaring sound from nowhere, a loud bang, and in front of him. The color changed instantly, and suddenly, he existed in a vast white world. This feeling is the same as practicing Taigzi universe soul refining technique. He has no body at all, only an invisible consciousness that exists in this white world. The white world is endless. At this time, he can see that there are many light spots around him, and they are colorful. Zhang Zizai knows that this is the source of the sky, and these colorful light spots are the sky. Source is the root power of heaven and earth. Is the rule for everything. He was very excited. He was very comfortable at this time. He tried to move, and he was able to move like the Taigzi universe. He was close to a fiery red light spot, and when he reached out to touch it, he naturally knew that the light spot was what? It is the blazing fire source, a type of flame source, which is extremely hot. Zhang Zizai did not continue going up. The choices now were endless. It is said that one should choose Tianyuan before feeling tired. Currently, Zhang Zizai was full of energy, so he went straight into the depths. Along the way, he met many Tianyuan. This is Yanglei Tianyuan. This is the source of the storm. This is Shuimu Tianyuan. It actually has 2 attributes. It should be difficult. Unconsciously, he seemed to have passed through a layer of water mist, as if from one pond to another. After arriving at this position, he found that it seemed more difficult to move. This should be the source of the second heaven. I want to see how many sources of heaven I can go to. Zhang Zizai had already thought about it. He was not afraid of the difficulty of Tianyuan at all. With his sense of challenge, he wanted to get the strongest Tianyuan. He began to ignore the Tianyuan around him and went deeper. After continuing to go deeper, he speeded up and went deep. It was obvious that his energy was being consumed rapidly and he was beginning to feel a little tired. Once you are so exhausted that you lose strength, you will drown here, or if you use your own unsuitable heavenly source to save your life in an emergency, your practice will be destroyed. I wonder if I can use Taigzi Universe Soul Refining Technique. He was smart enough to use this technique at this time, and a miracle happened. He could actually operate it. When it was operating, he would not reach the Taigzi universe, but his spirit was recovering and he was full of energy. Charge, since this Taigzi universe soul refining technique is so mysterious, he is not polite and goes straight to the deepest part. The third level, the fourth level, the fifth level, the sixth level. Although he was getting more and more tired, he persevered with the Taigzi universe soul refining technique. At this time, the light spots that appeared around him were very huge, indicating that every source of heaven was very profound. The source of light. He saw a blazing white light, like a sun, which was the top source of heaven and appeared on the seventh level. However, he continued forward and reached the ninth level directly, which was a very scary place. What is the deepest part? Zhang Zizai was suddenly very eager, because he felt that he was very close to the core of the source of the sky. In fact, he didn't know how terrifying he was, because all the totem worlds and the highest source of heaven were only around the seventh level. It was impossible for a mortal to go deep into this position. He was already in the ninth level, and there were sky sources as huge as the sun everywhere. The source of destiny. The source of cause and effect. Xuanhuan Tianyuan. These are the most terrifying sources of heaven and the top rules of heaven and earth. But he was still going deeper. He wanted to go to the core and see what was there. According to legend, the ninth level of the source of heaven is the core of heaven and earth and is the highest position. But at this moment, Zhang Zizai never expected that he would actually penetrate a layer of barrier. This is the source of the 10th heaven. He was shocked. What was even more shocking was that he saw that there was only one thing inside. It was a piece of black petals. Sorry, I just started typing in the evening because I had something to do at home today. The update is finished and there are only 3 chapters. I owe you a total of 3 chapters, and I will pay them back within the next week. I have sorted out my personal affairs today, and I can guarantee the next update. Time is also guaranteed. Thank you for your support. For the fastest updated reading, please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 611. Zhang Zizai had already seen the petals in the mouth of the black dragon in the Sea of Life countless times, and he was even very familiar with the shape and pattern of the petals. After arriving at the 10th level of the source of heaven, the moment Zhang Zizai saw the black petals, he knew very well that these were the petals in the mouth of the black dragon. The source of heaven actually had a 10th level, which was enough to confuse him. The only source of heaven in it was the black petals, which made his mind suddenly blank. Father, God box, black dragon, source of heaven, petals. All this information suddenly became confusing, and they were involved together, as if covering up an unimaginable secret. Zhang Zizai did not have time to think, because when he just came in, he immediately tasted the feeling of drowning. And it was the kind that could drown immediately. The 10th level of the source of heaven exceeded his limit. Between life and death, lightning and fire. There is no doubt that this black petal is a kind of heavenly source, and it is a heavenly source that transcends everything. It may be so difficult that it is unimaginable, which invisibly increases the difficulty of Zhang Zizai's future godhood, and even the difficulty of practicing in each realm. However, he went upstream, he had enough courage, and he had no other choice, so in this last moment, he resolutely hit his consciousness towards the black petal. It is said that the fusion of consciousness and heavenly source is the beginning of the heavenly source realm. First of all, this heavenly source must be able to recognize himself. When Zhang Zizai's consciousness came into contact with this black petal, he smelled the smell of death. But the next moment, the crisis was suddenly resolved. For a moment, the sky was spinning, and his consciousness embraced the heavenly source and was leaving the source of the sky. This may be the only chance to enter the source of the sky in this life, and Zhang Zizai made a choice. When he merged the only source of the 10th heaven, he knew the name of this source. It transcended fate, cause and effect, reincarnation, and life and death. Zhang Zizai had thought about what source of heaven would be above everything. He never expected that the name of this source of heaven was destruction. Black petals, source of destruction. Everything in the world, including cause and effect, fate and all things, is created, and all creation and formation are afraid of one thing, that is, destruction. Zhang Zizai guessed that this was the reason why the source of destruction appeared in that position. It was independent of all the sources of heaven and had a space of its own. There is no doubt that the difficulty of my next cultivation in the source realm and becoming a god may be 100 times, 1,000 times, or even 10,000 times, 100,000 times more difficult than others. But this is my own choice, so I must go on. He is much braver than those totem warriors who chose the source of the first heaven. In fact, for the early stage of cultivation, the high-level Tianyuan is not very useful. It is indeed a wise choice to choose the first level lowest and simplest Tianyuan, which has a faster speed. However, Zhang Zizai has his own way to go. He is a person who dares to challenge. The current priority is to enter the Tianyuan realm immediately after obtaining the Tianyuan. Buzz. His consciousness came out of the source of heaven. Now his body is still in a state of destruction after the power of the totem divine seal is reversed. In the Tianyuan realm, every transformation of the Tianyuan will usher in the Tianyuan calamity. The destruction of the body brought about by the shattering of the power of the totem divine seal is the first level of the Tianyuan realm. The calamity is called the divine seal tribulation. Only after surviving the divine seal tribulation can one successfully enter the Tianyuan realm. The power of the totem divine seal that is reversed is destroying his body in the violent chaos. Fortunately, Zhang Zizai practiced the mysterious art of life, and his body was able to support it. After all, he stayed in the source of heaven for more than 10 times longer than others. If many people stayed for such a long time, their bodies might have been destroyed by the power of the totem seal. The mysterious art of life cultivated the mysterious energy of life, which provided a smooth protection for the body, allowing Zhang Zizai to hold on. Many broken flesh and blood began to regenerate, especially after the consciousness returned to the body. With the guidance of consciousness, the repair of the mysterious art of life was faster. However, the most urgent task is to survive the seal calamity, so as to completely solve the problem. With the return of consciousness, after the totem seal shattered, even the totem sea disappeared, and a black petal appeared in that position instead. That was Zhang Zizai's source of destruction. The source of heaven that appeared here was not the same as that in the source of heaven. The source of heaven contained the root power of heaven and earth, the rules of heaven and earth, while the source of heaven that appeared here belonged to Zhang Zizai, the core of his power. He quickly performed the eternal dragon visualization method. In his thoughts, his body entered into a state of sedation, motionless. Invisibly, a white dragon entangled his body, entering a state of extreme stillness, as if he was no longer alive. However, everything in his body was under Zhang Zizai's control. In the Eternal Dragon visualization method, his body transformed into a world, and he became the controller of this world. The Eternal Dragon visualization method absorbed the power of the violent totem divine seal and began to guide it into Zhang Zizai's source of destruction. The divine seal realm quickly surrounded the black petals in the swallowing of the dragon, and the crisis all over his body was soon resolved. Around the black petals, a snow-white dragon coiled around, encircling the black petals in the center. That was the Eternal Dragon. This was the manifestation of this technique and part of Zhang Zizai's power. It was common with the destruction heaven source, or in other words, the Eternal Dragon was also part of the destruction heaven source. The power of the totem seal and a large amount of divine spirit gathered and condensed in the destruction heaven source, gradually transforming into a new power, that is, the destruction heaven source power. The heaven source power is a higher transformation of the totem seal power. It contains the root power of heaven and earth. When it is used, not only will its own power be added to the battle, but it can also control the power of heaven and earth for its own use. People often say that calling the wind and rain is such a feeling. When the rebellious totem seal power is all transformed by Zhang Zizai into the destruction heaven source power, when a large amount of divine spirit condenses in the destruction heaven source, it means that Zhang Zizai has truly reached the first level of the heaven source realm. His damaged body recovered quickly under the nourishment of the mysterious art of life. It only took him 1 or 2 days to recover, and his combat power was unprecedentedly strong. As expected, after the success, the white eternal sky dragon coiled around the black petals quickly turned black as if it was dyed, forming a part of the destruction heaven source. The combination of the two is somewhat similar to Zhang Zizai's natal totem. Of course, the heaven source and the totem are different things, but there is no doubt that they affect each other. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 612. Destroy the Heavenly Source. After success, Zhang Zizai healed his wounds and pondered at the same time. The cultivation of the heavenly source realm is to cultivate the heavenly source. At this stage, sometimes the familiarity and understanding of the power of heaven and earth, and the comprehension of the heavenly source, are the path to growth, rather than just practicing according to the exercises as before. From now on, I'm afraid it's more important to use your brain. So, how to comprehend destruction? If he gets a simple heavenly source, such as water, fire, wind, and thunder, he will definitely grow very fast. These heavenly sources will definitely be much easier to comprehend, familiarize, and comprehend, but the power of destroying the heavenly source is confusing. Although Zhang Zizai has reached the first level of the heavenly source realm, he does not understand destruction at all now. It can only be said that he has only planted the seeds now. Of course, other first-level heavenly source realm people have just formed the heavenly source and have not comprehended their own heavenly source much. This requires endless thinking and actual combat. Of course, sometimes enlightenment is also very important. Tianyuan realm is a realm that requires life experience. After reaching Tianyuan realm, sometimes seclusion is useless. What is more needed is to go out and experience, ponder and communicate, and learn from others' experience. Even fighting is needed. Sometimes fighting is the best way to achieve Tianyuan perfection. Destruction, is it to destroy things? Is it to kill people, or what? In fact, this literal meaning is easy to understand, but Tianyuan is very complicated. The pattern of the black petals seems simple, but if you look closely, it is like a totem pattern. The more you look at it, the more profound it is. It is completely confusing. Zhang Zizai is a little worried. Will he be arrogant if he chooses this kind of Tianyuan? If he stays in Tianyuan realm for his whole life, and others become gods easily, then he will lose a lot. No, you must not think like this. This is not the fundamental will of destruction. Since you choose to take this path, you should move forward. If you don't try, how can you know that I can't do it? Although he has no idea about the second level of Tianyuan realm, and even now it is only considered an entry, he is still full of hope for the future. If he really chose the first level of Tianyuan, he would probably lose interest in cultivation because he did not do his best. Destroying Tianyuan seemed to affect his mind and temperament invisibly. After reaching Tianyuan realm, Zhang Ziyi looked even more different. He had a mysterious color on him, but the mystery hid a deep violence, which was not easy to be excavated, but once it was revealed, it would probably be the same earth-shaking as the last time he fused the talisman shield. After the damage of Xuanhuan realm was completely over, his body returned to a perfect state. He tried to use the power of Tianyuan and found that when he used it, it was indeed attracted by some special factors in the world, and the power that erupted was not just the power of destroying Tianyuan. When he was about to attack, it seemed that the whole world was helping him. This is the difference between Tianyuan realm and Xuanhuan realm. He has just entered the door and has a long way to go in the future. But he can feel that he is unprecedentedly powerful. He came to the ocean and wanted to try out how powerful he was. He took out the black stick, held it in both hands, and waved it casually. For a moment, the sea was in an uproar, countless waves surged towards the distance, and billions of marine creatures were trembling in the deep sea. When Zhang Ziyi grasped the black stick at this time, he was surprised to find that the black stick that seemed to be severely damaged had changed. When the power of the source of destruction in his body penetrated it, the blood-colored lines on it actually shone. Originally, the black stick was severely damaged, with only a small part of the totem lines, and it was relatively dim. Zhang Ziyi had judged that this should be irreversible damage, but when he reached the Tianyuan realm, he never expected that this kind of damage could be restored. At least more blood-colored totem lines actually lit up. He could feel that the weapon in his hand was just like a wild beast awakening. The crooked blood-colored lines twisted on the black stick, and finally condensed into two ancient characters. This seemed to be a very old font. Zhang Ziyi didn't recognize it at all, but somehow he knew that these two twisted characters were called God-Killing. God-Killing was the name of the black stick. When the two blood-colored characters appeared, the black stick suddenly became terrifying. Zhang Ziyi felt that the stick had become much heavier, and the power of its own totem weapon had been madly improved. The totem weapon had characteristics and powerful effects because of the totem lines. Now the effect of this black stick is a kind of heart-pounding power, a kind of fighting spirit, a kind of destructive momentum, as if no matter what was blocking it, the power of this black stick was to destroy it. Or it could be said to be destruction. Zhang Ziyi was surprised to find that the power in the totem pattern of the black stick was somewhat similar to his own source of destruction. It had the characteristics of destruction, which made it fearless in front of all totem weapons. I can make this god of slaughter change, obviously because of my source of destruction. Zhang Ziyi's current power made this god of slaughter have the momentum of awakening after destruction, but how much it has recovered now, that's unknown. Maybe it's all its power now, maybe it still has a lot of hidden power. He communicated with the god of slaughter through his blood to get familiar with its totem patterns and control the changes in it. After adding a lot of totem patterns, it has become very complex. The current totem pattern level is probably very top level among Kun level divine weapons, even comparable to Qian level totem divine weapons. When he was controlling the totem patterns, he found an interesting change. This black stick was not the original state of the god of slaughter. This is just one of its states. It seems that when it was destroyed, it happened to be the state of the stick. In fact, its real state is. When Zhang Ziyi restored it, it changed into a half-inch long black earring, which looked very delicate. One end of it was a small skull. When the earring was inserted into the ear, the skull happened to be outside, as if it was looking at someone else. This skull earring is the real god of slaughter. The black stick is one of the changes, Just like the magic eye can also change into a longsword and a halberd, and this godkiller has more changes, a total of 18 changes, which can be said to include 18 kinds of weapons, including swords, spears, swords and halberds.